just might be a little bit of repetition. I'm seeing some questions coming through, and really, I think what I think you're really helping to do is just engender some trust in the vaccines. And there was a question to say that other vaccines, like you mentioned, smallpox, polio, took years and years, decades, and this vaccine was invented in months. And it would seem to be that a lot of the authorization, whether it be from the FDA or other regulatory bodies, has been in the form of, and I'm going to use it in inverted commas, emergency approval. Should we read anything into the fact that it's emergency approval, or is it the same process as it would be for normal, just expedited?
Now, I'm so glad you brought that up, because a lot of people seem to be worried about the terminology. Yeah, it's unfortunate that they use that terminology. It's called emergency use license or emergency use authorization, EUL or EUA. And it's really terminology, because basically the reason why it's given that term is that what they're doing now, because they're new vaccines, is that they're actually monitoring it. Now, normally what happens, you do the clinical trials, there's obviously the volunteers, and there's intensive monitoring. Then there's licensure, and then after licensure, there's called post-marketing licensure. And then they kind of look for, as I mentioned earlier, they look for various safety signals. Now, any medicine or any vaccine has to be, while it's being monitored, it's called emergency use licensure or emergency use authorization. It's really synonyms. And that's where that term is. In other words, it's not like, for example, measles vaccine. Nobody's really kind of actively monitoring the side effects now. That underwent emergency use authorization and then general authorization. The COVID vaccines at this particular time period is emergency use authorization, and then eventually get ordinary. Unfortunately, the term emergency seems to kind of get people a little bit rattled. It's just it's a time period, really. That's why it's got that term.